Hi there, I'm Copeland of the Girls Guide to Outrageous Real Estate Success and the Live a Girl Success Boutique. And today is another day in September when we are focused on sharing amazing women's life transformational stories. And today I'm excited to have my friend Karen Albert here. Her company is Behind Your Curtain. She's 20 plus. I almost said 21 plus like it's legal. She's 21 plus years
I am legal.
as a marketer. And you can contact her at behindyourcurtain.com. And she has an available amazing e-guide called Top 10 Ways to Boost Your Business with Social Media that you can get there on her website. So what we're doing, Karen, is that we just are sharing from our heart sometime in our life when maybe something wasn't going your way, or, you know, some people are sharing when they were really hit bottom and what changed. Really want to get to whatever you feel to share on your heart with our ladies. So take it away, Karen.
Well, thanks, Dan, for the opportunity. I really appreciate being here and having the opportunity to share my story. I mean, if there's any, just one person possibly that might be able to just glean something from this, because I know that, when things are not going the way that we want them to go, and we feel as if there's, kind of, we all need hope. I think
Yes.
when we are living in a place where there's no hope, it seems as if it's permanent, it's forever. And it just isn't. It's just a period of time. It's temporary, but, you can, like the caterpillar, right? You'll come out the other end and be able to look back on it and just say, oh, okay, so because of that, I am able to do this today.
Yeah.
And I mean, as an entrepreneur, I started late in life, though. I was in the corporate world, and I always thought that I would be, and went to college and got my degree and launched into the corporate world in my mid-20s. And I never, ever thought that I would be an entrepreneur and start my own business. But, in 2010, when I was actually really successful in the corporate world and had that director title and was making six figures, right? And I just thought, great, this is where I want to be and what I want to be doing. And then my mom, sorry, I feel like hold on. Okay, there we go. My lighting went weird. Sorry. So my mom, I was actually living with my mom at that time. I had gone through a divorce in 2002 and ended up, in that place of, I don't know where to go with my daughter. So I went and moved in with my mom. It was supposed to be a temporary thing. And fast forward to 8 years later. But it was awesome because we ended up finding a house that was big enough for all of us. It was me, my mom, my daughter, my grandmother, and her husband. So we just found this incredibly gorgeous house for us all to move in. And then my grandmother ended up passing, and her husband was kind of coming down with early signs of Alzheimer's. So she was helping me take care of my daughter. I was helping her with her husband. And then in 2010, I lost her to cancer in 3 months. And she was like my everything, my best friend. She was a federal court judge. I mean, she was such an incredible woman and human being, and so loved and revered by so many, and had won so many awards, and she got appointed to the federal bench before Clinton left. And that literally changed everything for me. I mean, everything that I thought, my foundation, what was important to me, it was a 180. Yeah. And I just found myself, what I had as priorities, that job, that corporate job became this important to me, and I was learning how to survive again. I was trying to find a new normal, and I was not right. I just wasn't. Looking back on it now, I can't believe this January, it'll be 10 years, but I would say it was probably a good 3-4 years before I was feeling like a bit of my, who I was again. And so I quit the corporate job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew it wasn't that anymore. And I almost, really found myself being inspired and motivated to find a silver lining out of the whole thing, and want to not have her passing go in vain. And because she was such an incredible change agent for so many, I mean, she had defendants who she put away. They were like incarcerated. I mean, she gave them sentences, and they wrote her letters thanking her for how she treated them with respect in the courtrooms. And she always called them by their surnames. And I mean, that's just like skimming the surface of who she was. And so I just thought, I'm going to just do some soul searching and figure out, what do I want to do? And, and I think we need to give ourselves permission to not know. I mean, I think there's a lot of beauty and relief that can come along with being in that space of the unknown, and just honoring that, and really honoring whatever we're feeling, and not giving it a label, and not trying to say, well, I shouldn't feel this way, or I should feel this way, and shitting on ourselves, as a coach used to say. Don't shit on yourself. So, then the birth of my entrepreneurship came. That's how it came about, really, because I just found myself kind of wanting to take a lot of the things that I had learned and start helping others, and in a very just like non-traditional, unconventional way. Found myself just wanting to help and serve. And then that's kind of when I was helping a neighbor who had a nonprofit organization with a fundraising event. And she said, well, that Facebook thing, because I'd actually worked on Facebook in the corporate job. And she was like, I've got a fundraiser and I need your help, and you're not doing anything. So I kind of was like, all right, that'll be fun. And so, fast forward, the event was a total success, and she raised lots of money. And the real estate agents that had donated the space for the event came up to me and said, so how much could we pay you to do our social media? And that was opportunity knocking, right? I was literally like, oh, I don't know. I will get back to you on that. And I think back on that proposal that I put together, where it was like, I'll charge you $100 a month. But I mean, it was a starting point, and it was a stepping stone, and it really kind of like sparked something in me that I thought, I could do this. I could definitely do this. And that was kind of, I think, where the beginning of me sort of rebuilding myself. I think when you have someone in your life, whoever that is, if that is a sibling or a parent or a spouse, if they're so intricate to who you are, and my mom was almost at like a subconscious level, not really realizing how intricate, and so it really is difficult to continue forward without having that source. But I know today, hands down, that my mom was very much a part of still all of that, because I could talk to her still, and I would get a sense of what would my mom do, and I knew that she was still there and she was guiding me through all of that. And so, that's really how I feel like I kind of came out of that cocoon situation and birthed out of that. And then things were going really well. I started everything wrong in the business. I hired tons of people, and I was going to be everything to everybody, I was going to do websites and logos and social media and all the stuff. Yeah. So realizing that really wasn't working, all my money would come in, and then I would have to pay it out to all these contractors that I had working on these jobs. And so, lots of adjustments that I had to make, and literally just kind of like decided to fire everybody and let me just figure this out. And again, that's okay. It's, if you don't know what doesn't work, you're never going to know what does work. And so just really kind of, again, allowing the highs and the lows, and just embracing and honoring whatever the feelings are that come up with it. I remember not that long ago, actually, within the past 3 years, I want to say, I had done a pretty big presentation and done all this work for this woman who had hired me. I did a whole strategy for her social media. And man, she just ripped me to shreds. Like I've never been, I mean, she was a New Yorker, so she kind of had that way about her, you know? But she probably wasn't appropriate at how she explained. I mean, she was disappointed in what I had put together. And, you know, I was a mess. I curled into bed. I pulled my covers. I cried for like 24 hours. I was so impacted by it. But then I was like, okay, that happened. You know, I'm going to take from everything that she said, and maybe I do need to up my game. Maybe she didn't deliver it in the best way possible, but I'm not going to let that take me out, and I'm not going to give her my power. So I took my power back and allowed whatever I wanted to out of that situation, and I just allowed it to actually have me take everything to the next level. And so it doesn't always show up in the way that you want it to. It's not always going to be warm and fuzzy. It can hurt, but you know, that's, I think, life in any aspect of it. And I think it's okay, again, to, if it hurts, let it hurt. Like, embrace the reaction. You may have some scars from it, but I think so much of it is, what do we do from that?
That's right.
Like, put your big girl panties on. That book, Girl Wash Your Face, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. You said some things that I wrote down that I think the viewers will like this. You said, give yourself that permission not to know.
Yeah.
I think that's really key. And then you said, the space of the unknown is okay. And then you said, rebuilding myself, and I took my power back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, from everything that you said, you know, out of the ashes, right, and you're grieving, you realize that corporate, even though, and I was director level too, making six figures, and it was a nice life, and everybody looks at you and thinks, man, you know, but what was that life like, right? And once your mom, you know, passed away, you saw a different way. You saw that that wasn't working for you anymore. And I just think that's really exciting, because we have some real estate agents who are going to be watching this, and really women of all kinds of vocations and careers, who say enough of that career, whether it be corporate, nursing, teaching, whatever, and they're looking to do something else, some of whom are looking to start in real estate. And I also thank you for being candid and saying that when that woman ripped you a new one, that you crawled in bed and cried, right?
Yeah.
Because I appreciate that rawness and honesty, because any entrepreneur who says that they haven't dealt with that is either a misnomer or a liar. One of the two. Okay?
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly.
I totally get it. So I
Yeah.
thank you so much. And you know, Karen, I think you shared so much. Do you have anything else? Any other nugget in closing that you'd want to share? I just want to give you that.
Yeah, thank you. I think the other nugget is a lot of big mistakes that I made after my mom passed is reaching for the wrong things to make me feel whole again. You know, just putting it real, like I was drinking, I was having sex. I mean, I was out and about. I was trying to fill that void.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important to take a step back and look at are the choices that I am making really the ones that are going to give me long-term, healthy, sustainable joy? Or am I just reaching for something right now? And a lot of the things that we reach for, that short-term fix, they start to take our focus away from where we really need to be. My primary focus, and I'm so blessed, and not trying to, you know, just telling you my story, but I ended up having to move to Dallas for my daughter and that whole thing that she was going through. But, you know, again, embrace the unknown, because I lived in Los Angeles and there was like no way, and you know what, that I would ever move to Texas. But God had another plan for me. And I thank God, and I try not to cry when I say this, because he put me back together again. Like I was broken, like Humpty Dumpty broken. And what he allowed me to do was to fall in love with myself again, regardless of all the brokenness, regardless of all the bad choices, regardless of everything that I was doing wrong, and allowed me to really see, like, those things are helping me. They're not supporting me. The people that aren't supporting me, the choices that I was making, and really detaching myself. Like, he knew the only way was, he was like, Karen, you got to get out of LA, and dropped me into the middle of nowhere where I didn't have access to any of those things except him. And that, like, again, breaking me down to the rawness, right, is who built me back up again to who I am today. And look, it's not that I don't want to still reach for those things, because I do. And sometimes I do. But I know enough now to know that, like, oh, I've just been through, he's worked too hard, I've been through too much to go backwards. And that's the whole, like, giving other people your power. Like, realize you have been through what you've been through purely to keep you focused on where you need to go. It's not like Priscilla Shire says, you haven't been through what you've been through to go back to where you've been. And I was like, oh yeah, like, so powerful. So that's just my other nugget there.
What you said, thank you so much for, again, being honest.
Yeah.
Choices. And I always think when I'm talking to my coaching clients, and we talk about kind of a lay of the land of where they are, I talk about, what were your goals 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Because sometimes we get so off course with our choices. The obvious was, you knew it 3 years ago, but somehow we went down all these weird paths. And next thing you know, you're like, wait, I lost myself.
Yeah.
And so Humpty Dumpty is a great visualization that you'll get back together. And if you're suffering, and this is a time of tumultuousness, and, you know, I like how you said, you know, the unknown, enjoy the space of the unknown, embrace it.
Yeah.
Even though it's difficult. You know, it could be financial, it could be a mourning of a death of someone, whatever it is.
Right.
I couldn't agree more with what you said, Karen. And you said, what did you say? You were picked up from LA and dropped. And I like that visualization, because when we're going through transformations, I'm going to keep that visualization, because I want to be able to help my clients visualize themselves being picked up. So, you know, in a future time, you'll look back to this and it'll be, wow.
Exactly. And it doesn't always feel good. The transformation doesn't always feel good. And it doesn't always take you places that were a part of your plan. But we don't always necessarily know at that moment what is the best for us.
That's right.
And really, you know, like you said, it's like, what were your goals 3 years ago? Because we can so easily get knocked off track. It's too easy. And embrace the unknown, but just don't stay there for very long, because every unknown has the known. It's just, you got to seek it, and just realize, like, okay, I'm here now, I'm here for a reason, but there are solutions out there, and reach and go to, you know, people like you that are experts. Surround yourself with people that emulate what it is that you want. And guarantee you, they've been where you are.
Yep.
Nobody's perfect. Far from it, right?
That's right. Nobody's perfect. And that's the beauty of women sharing with women. Because do you think that a man would share honestly like these women are sharing in this series in September? I don't think so. And I don't know that men would watch it. I don't know. But I think women, this rawness and being real, I really appreciate that you were willing to share your story.
Oh, yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for asking.
Thanks, Karen. So again, to hook up with Karen, behindyourcurtain.com. And when you're there, sign up for her free e-guide, Top 10 Ways to Boost Your Business on Social Media.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.